Hey everyone, Tobias here. So as many of you know, Princess Connect has released or soft launched in the Southeast Asia region, but you can already download the game on APK Pure. And if you go to my channel, I've actually made a video about the fast 3 to 4 minute reroll, as well as the quick breakdown of 3 stars, 2 stars, and 1 star units. Just a quick overview of if they're PvP or PvE focused, and whether or not you should be aiming for these units based on how you play. So the next topic I wanted to cover is Princess Connect is actually a very good free-to-play game if you know your focus and you plan accordingly. What I mean by that is we get quite a lot of free gems or jewels from the game or the publisher. Again, Crunchyroll might be different, but usually across the different international servers, we've been treated quite well. But however, it's not to say that if you just see anything, any new banner right up, you just pull on that, you'll be fine. You actually have to plan ahead. So the first thing you need to understand is, do you see yourself as a casual or more of a hardcore player? If you're casual, then you don't necessarily have to pull all the perma units, because you could get them while you're pulling for limited. And if you don't care too much about stuff like clan battle, then you can easily skip a lot of the banners. But for those that let's say really want to focus on either PvP or focus on clan battle as a free-to-play, you really need to plan your pulls ahead. Or sometimes you're just going to have to miss out on the limited, and that's going to really hinder your ability to achieve that top placement. So what I have here is I think the first 6 months or 8 months, depending on how rushed the schedule is, a banner schedule for this is the Chinese version. So this was their predicted, and I played Chinese, the Chinese server since launch, so I could comment on what has changed, as well as I have the Japanese release order since February 2018, the banners information to compare. So our first banner is most likely not going to be Jita. So Jita, we already have her in the game, and I personally don't think that'll be our first banner. So if Crunchyroll follows the banner release order of all the other servers, bar from Taiwan, because Taiwan had some really rushed banners and changed orders, our first banner should be June. So June, right here, is a physical tank or mixed tank, but June she specializes in defense threading. So similar to why Makoto was really hyped, it's very important that if you're a competitive clan battle player, that you do get a copy of June. A lot of people might disagree and say, oh, June is a perm, June gets outdated. But coming from the Chinese server, I can tell you that if you don't get a June as one of your units, you will not be accepted into the top competitive guild for clan wars. That's just a fact, because for one team you're going to rock a guildie's Makoto and have your own June, and the other team you're going to have your own Makoto and borrow your guildie's June. You can only borrow it once per team. So that's why if you are looking to be a competitive PvE or clan battler, then June, the first banner, you have to get a copy. If you're into PvP, then you can skip. So next is Ring. So Ring right here, we had our Ring banner with Makoto. So people that play the game, didn't reroll for Makoto because they didn't want to be a clan battler, or they wanted to focus on story first. After the first, because we had our June and then our clan battle, after the first clan battle, they realized how important Makoto is or was in that time. You were essentially barred from again entering any top competitive guilds just if you didn't have Makoto. Again, the global competitive scene might be different. I think a lot of people just auto. I don't think it'll be as competitive because we like to enjoy waifus a bit more than staying up at 4 a.m. Calculating defense threads. So I personally think that if you're super competitive and you didn't grab Makoto, you could technically pity a copy if the pity spark system is in place, which is 300 pulls. if I recall correctly, 300 pulls on release. But if you're just casual or you rather get the best, because this should be the second CP. If you want to get the best value out of your jewels or crystals, at this point you missed Makoto. You already missed it. You can probably get her via guild shop shards in the next 5 to 6 months. But yeah, again, plan accordingly, and that's why we recommend Makoto, because if you get her, you can save essentially a pity cost. Next is Arisa. So Arisa, before her banner came about, everyone's like, yeah, you can skip her. She's people made fun of her because they said she was blind, because before the archers or the bow users got their equipment upgrades in R10 or R11, their accuracy was really low. So in arena against the tanks, they would just miss all the time. So people made fun of the unit, but for those that did pull her, she came out really strong for the next 5. It was May. Well, at least the next 2 to 3 clan battles. So if you're a serious clan battler, you grab a copy. But there are easily other alternatives as for the bow users. The crit Suzuru, and as well as the TP charging bow user are all options that you can go for. It's a min-max to grab Arisa at the moment, and I only suspect that the top 1% of the clan battlers or the guilds would request that. After Arisa, we had Ayane. That one was an easy skip. Only whales got her to maximize damage. I think for everyone else, it was an easy skip. And after that is Kyouka. So Kyouka is, I think, where a lot of people disagreed whether or not to pull. So Kyouka's right here. What happened with Kyouka is she is a very strong single target magic, unit that we didn't really have since the game's launch. But she needs a lot more enabling pieces to make her really shine. So a lot of people said that you don't have to pull Kyouka, you can wait for Ilya, and even if you pity Ilya, it's worth it because you need to get the materials to get her to 5-star. So you could technically get Kyouka off of that banner. Me personally, because I was in a very top competitive guild, I pulled Kyouka, and I also pulled in 5-star Ilya. But if you're not really competitive, Kyouka you can skip. She's a perm and she's not going to be super active until much later, or at least until Ilya comes online or the summer Kyaru. So I'll probably release more detailed recommendations as we approach closer to the banner release dates, so we understand what's actually coming. But yeah, Kyouka, a lot of people skipped. Next is Misato. Misato is the premier PvE healer. After she, in some sense, replaced Maho in terms of just map progression as well as some of the PvE modes. She's great, but her banner she's a 2-star first of all, so very high chance of getting her. And also when her banner is live, there's usually an event where you get free temples. So you probably just get her off of the free temples. I think in the Chinese server we got 100 free 10x's. So we had 100 free pulls, so 10 free 10x temples. So I got her doing that. So there's no reason for you to dish out your jewels. Next is Ilya. So Ilya is unique in the sense that she changed arena as soon as she was released. For those people that were struggling in the low 500s, or those who never reached the top to get the arena bonus, with Ilya you can do it. So she's really a godsend for free-to-play players, because if you planned well, Ilya is a good PvP and PvE unit, and you get her, she's going to be useful for the next 4 to 5 months as a premier tank as well as damage dealer on your clan battle mage team, and also she will send you to the top for arena. And when you're at the top, you get your first time clearance to the top, you get a lot of jewels or gems, so it's worth it. After Ida is Tsumugi. She is a quite special PvP player. Enables a lot of the PvP comps, but in terms of PvE, she's not really used. Next is the Summer Pickle. So Summer Pecorine is really good for PvP. She destroys Idia, but for PvE she doesn't really shine. A lot of people skip her because very close to her release banner we have the so before I talk about the big thing, after Summer Pico, it's the Summer I forgot her name. It's her right here. You can ignore her. I forgot her name already because she's not important. But our first very important limited is the Summer Kyaru or Carl in this game. If you didn't have Summer Kyaru, you are going to have a very difficult time for at least half a year, if not a year. She is the magic version of Makoto. She magic defense shreds for the team, and before she's released you didn't really have a lot of opportunities to use a magic team for clan battles, but after release stuff like Miyako Pudding just gets melted by the magic teams. So she's very important, and as a limited you have to get her even if you pity. So people, they plan ahead and make sure they grab a copy. Now, because not having Summon Kyaru is essentially as good as saying I'm going to take a break from the game for 6 months, if not more. So I'll probably stop here because that's looking 6 months into the future. We don't know if how Crunchyroll is going to release their banners and if it's going to follow the same schedule as everything else. But hopefully that was insightful, and most importantly, you have to make sure that you plan ahead. Don't just after you have enough for a tempo pull on the banner. It's almost a pity for someone to ruin their account by just pulling banners non-stop, because technically all the perms, so the units that are permanent, you can get off of any banner, right? But you know, if you want to be competitive, you have to pull on these perm banners to stay ahead of the game, and they do reward you by allowing to get better rewards. But if you don't plan ahead as a free play, or even if as a small dolphin or spender, you're gonna have a bad time. So just to have a quick recap, initial June, probably pull if you are a competitive clan battler. Arisa pull if you got really lucky on the June banner and you're competitive. Kyouka pull if you are competitive, or you have a really decent amount of stock of gems. So in terms of for pity, it costs 45,000. So you always want to have at least 1 to 2 pities when you're going into these banners. And then for Ilia, definitely pull is a must pull, I would say, because of the quality of life it brings you in terms of arena as well as PvE. But if you're really low, then you can skip, because later on you must grab the Summer Kyaru. And after you grab Summer Kyaru, you should have at least 1, if not 1.5 plus amounts of pity left. So that would be about 45 to 70,000 gems. So yeah, make sure you plan accordingly. Feel free to ask questions. I'll post a Discord. I'll probably start a clan or guild and see where we land in terms of having it being competitive or having it more casual.